The bass clef or the F clef. The 5 lines on the bass clef are G, B, D, F, A, or good boy does fine always. With their spaces, we have A, C, E, G, or all cows eat grass. It will help us if we memorize these acronyms. The same principle of order apply in the bass clef. For example, the line, space, and music alphabet order. For instance, we see this arranged all in a line, space organization. And if we take note from the first space A to the last space G, we see how the music alphabet goes in order as the note ascends. Ledger lines applies the same way like the treble clef. So here we see that the last line is A, then we have B, and then we add a ledger line and place a note in between, then we have C, and so on and so forth. This principle also applies when the motion is descending. Bass clef is also called F clef because when you draw it, the starting point is on the 4th line, which is F. If you notice the 2 dots which looks like a colon, the 2 dots have the F line in between them. The last 2 clefs we will discuss are the alto and the tenor clef. Alto clef is also known as the viola clef. So you can see the alto clef has the same staff like the other clefs, 5 lines and 4 spaces. But what makes this one different? For this clef, our note placement will be different. In this case, our middle line is middle C. Middle C, according to one of my colleagues, is like a guidepost, a note that helps us locate the other notes we are missing. So, if middle C is on the middle line, we then proceed with D, E, F, G, following our music alphabet sequence. Remember this tip in case you forget the note placement for alto clef. Observe the figures of the alto clef. We see a line and 2 curvy lines meeting together. Where the 2 curvy lines meet is the middle C. Last, we will learn the tenor clef. It has the same symbol as the alto clef, but the placement is slightly different. The tenor clef's 2 curvy lines meet on the 4th line. So knowing that that's where the 2 curvy line meets, that is where the middle C is. The ledger lines, line space principle, and music alphabet order also applies in both of these clefs. So, just a recap for our lessons this week. Number 1, we have staff, which consists of 5 lines and 4 spaces. There are only 7 musical letters or alphabets: A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. We have 4 kinds of clefs: the treble, bass, alto, and tenor clef. There are notes that are written above and below the staff on short lines called ledger lines. The treble clef notes within the staff. The lines are E, G, B, D, F, or every good boy does fine. Then we have F, A, C, E for the spaces. In case you forget these names, remember that treble clef is also known as G clef. The starting point of where you draw G clef is on the 2nd line, G. Bass clef notes on lines are G, B, D, F, A, or known as good boy does fine always. Spaces are on A, C, E, G, or all cows eat grass. Bass clef is also known as F clef because the starting point of this figure starts on the fourth line F. Last, we have the alto and tenor clef. Alto clef's middle C starts on the middle line where the two curvy lines meet. Then, the tenor clef's middle C is on the fourth line.